Hello, how is everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Crime Night. How is everybody doing? Oh, we've got lots of people here. How wonderful. It's so good to see you guys. Joan, I sure hope that works. Oh, there's Shannon. Good to see you. There's Laura. This is Knit for Brains, Laura. Happy Friday, working on socks. Oh, you got food. Awesome. Hi, Brett. And hello to all the hubbies out there that are watching with everybody. Working on a Chio blanket. Is it the yellow one? So pretty. There's Annie. Hi. Working on a hat and scarf and having coffee and water. She's two-fisting it tonight. And Leslie's here. First time. Good to see you. I'm so glad you came in. There's Kathy. Hi. Working on a blanket, drinking Diet Coke. Awesome. Yes, welcome. Glad you're here. Thank you for the reminder for the thumbs. I always forget. I'm always happy when somebody reminds me. Joan's saying hi to everybody. So y'all have been said hello to. There is Laura Who. I call her Crochet and Hoovian. Her name is Laura also, and I call her Laura Who. How you doing? How's it going? Are you getting weather up there? She is over in the New York area. There's Lorna. Hey. And Patty. Hey, how are you tonight? Oh, and eating pralines. She made them. Oh, how nice. I had a discussion about pralines with one of our friends, one of Chelsea and my friends. It's one of her coworkers. And I said the Texas pralines are just totally different than anywhere else's. There's Laura, and that's 3 Lauras. Friday night is Laura night. Hey, there's Beth. How are you doing? Maribel. Sharon. Oh, it's good to see you. I'm glad you came in tonight. How's it going? How are you doing? Yes, Bubby. I'm talking to the peoples. He's on the bone. Zerbs is on the bone. And there's Sarah Bear. Good to see you. I hope you're doing good tonight. Hope things are going well. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. How you doing? Working on nothing, she says. Oh, you finished the yellow one. I started a rainbow one. How cool. Hello, Erica. How are you? Good to see you. Glad you came in. There's Mary Webb. Hi, Mary. Hey, Tank. How are you doing? Oh, you're not feeling good? Dang it. Dang it. Cold there? We had a warm day. It was almost 70 degrees here today. Yeah, that was Who, not Whoville. Yeah. Mary saying hi to everybody. Tank has been a member for 5 months. That is amazing. I don't have my members video. When I went to the free version, I lost a lot of the assets and things and the clips and stuff, so I'm going to have to rebuild that. But thank you very much, Tank. I do appreciate it very much. There's Ellen. Hi, Ellen. Oh, yeah, it would be. I think I started to kind of make myself sick today on Moose Munch. Anybody ever had Moose Munch? I had a little too much today. 52 there. Oh, not again, Laura. No, don't do that. Oh, you did? Well, I bet you're glad to be home. Goodness. I hope it wasn't terribly serious. I know you had some things done recently. I hope you're doing okay. Are you able to crochet? Does that help? 50s there too. That seems to be the thing right now. 50s. Yeah, we had some rain. Hey, Stephanie. How are you? Working on Inspired by Grace Cow. I saw that and that looked really neat. That looks really, really neat. Are you liking it so far? Oh, tornadoes tomorrow. Mm-mm. We escaped all that. It was in that the pathway of those storms yesterday were like between Texas and Louisiana, but we were over farther. So we missed out on all of that. But be careful, Tank. Hey, Tina. Good to see you. Oh, that's not fun at all. Yeah. Try to get some energy back. Yep. Well, I'm glad you're okay. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're okay. Shannon's been a member for 7 months. Thank you very much. So you're on week 2 already. You're loving it. Oh, good. I may have to try it because he did put it out. I'm a lefty, and actually I can follow the right-handed version, but I may have to do that. It looks really cool. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Matter of fact, my family was traveling and they decided to travel today instead of yesterday because they were going to be going through that way. So they are okay. East Texas. Yep. Finally got your errands done, getting into your jammies. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm down at the bottom. Yay, look at me. Only 8 minutes. You guys, I have notes. Let me show you. I'm going to start with a few things to get them out of the way. I will show my desk. Got all of my notes. I am using my big planner that we put together. We made the covers for out of the, and I put the kind of textury part on the outside. These are the cutting mats from the dollar store. No, from Amazon. And I colored that page, but I didn't like the rest of it, so I cut this out. And this is the one that we decided was going to be the front. So now I need to put this on something and get it put in here. But for now, I'm just leaving it, resting it right here in the front part. And then this is all my notes. So we will be working on this at some point when we do the planner stuff. Okay. Hey, Denny Benini. Holiday stickers for next year's planner. Cool. Hey, Nancy Mac. Okay, let me put... Oh, no, it's not going to go. It is not going to go. That's all right. Okay. So when I say we're going to go back, we are going to do a little bit of rehashing from the very first part of it. Okay? We're going to rehash it. And I want to go through my notes that I took for episode 1 and episode 2 of Making a Murderer. And then I got as far as, with my notes, I got as far as chapter 8, all the way through chapter 8. And there are 21 chapters in the book. So if you do not know, we're doing the book by Michael Griesbach called Indefensible. And it is his take on everything with the Stephen Avery case and with the Netflix series Making a Murderer. So there's our synopsis on what we're doing. Not sure if you're going to use stickers. You don't have to use stickers. Matter of fact, you can just draw in it. You can just doodle. If you wanted to do any kind of anything around the sides, you could just do that. Okay. I am going to do planner stuff tomorrow night. And then on New Year's, we're going to bring the new year in with the planners and showing some of my haul from Black Friday. So tomorrow and New Year's is when we're going to do that stuff. Okay, coffee in my cup. And I got my water. And then Mr. Fiber and I went yesterday, and we went to Books A Million. And I actually bought some physical books that I want to show you. And then I want to open a couple more of the mini brand books. We'll be doing that towards the end too. Okay. Also, one more thing before I start. I want to start our scrap blankets again. Who wants to do that with me? And we'll be calling it a Scrap in Crime Blanket Mal. And it'll be 25. We're going to call it, it doesn't even have to be a Mal. It can just be Scrap in Crime Blanket 25 because that's for next year. You have lots of scraps? Awesome. So anybody who wants to do this with me, here is going to be our hashtag for it. Scrap in Crime Blanket 25. And I'm going to start with this scrap here, which is Yarn ID. And this is called Sand Dollar. And I think this will make a great first. I'm going to chain up. How many chains y'all think we should do? I'm going to just start chaining while I talk. And we will see how big it gets. I would say if you want to do it with me, I want to at least have an even number when we cast it on, when we chain. I want to at least do an even number, and that way I will know what stitches that I'm going to do, because I may just throw some different stitches in there if you guys want to do that. So let me know. If you and the only real rules is that it's something you're doing while we're talking about crime. That's what makes it Scrap and Crime Blanket. So yeah. Hi Mimi, good to see you. And Michael came in. Yay, Michael. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Say hello to Panda for me. Rainbow Grandbaby on her way. Is that what that says? Oh, is that Jaxie? Are you talking about Creations by Jax? Cool. And I may have to turn my fan on and off. I hope it doesn't affect the sound. I had to mess around with the sound like crazy because when I had that update the other day on my computer, the sound got messed up. So I'm just going to start chaining loosely while I read my notes, okay? Yes, Creations by Jax. I figured that's who you meant. So the scrap and crime will be, I haven't seen Leanie in a while. I hope she's okay. But then again, I haven't really been on in a while. And another person I haven't seen, and I wanted to ask anybody if you have seen Steve. Has anybody seen Steve on any other live or anything? So I have not seen him either. But like I said, this is only my second live since I've been home. I mean, I don't know for sure, but so, and I haven't had a chance to go all over and join in with people. Oh, she fell yesterday over her yarn. Oh my gosh. Hi, Frozen. I'm starting it tonight. That way I can use scraps. Hello, Krista's Heavenly Creations. Oh, she has a question for Michael. Michael, she wants to know if you got her email. Yes, Joan is here. Frozen. Who is Angela, right? See, I'm trying to remember. And anybody else that I may have missed, and any of you who are lurking, thank you so much. Well, thank you. So glad to have you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I figured he'd been busy. He's been a little, he had a big live the other night and he's been kind of tired. I would imagine. Hi, Sally. Welcome in. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you my hands and then I'm going to start reading my notes, okay? So I may not see all of the chat as I'm reading, you guys. Going to work on your grandson's mittens. That's good. Okay, now my notes are going to go back and forth between the book and the series, the documentary. One of the things that we do here is, as far as it being crime night, is you really just have to come and join us and talk about the crime and join in with everybody. You don't necessarily have to buy the book and you don't have to watch any of the documentaries. Just join in the chat. That's how you participate. Just so y'all know what the rules are. I don't often talk about it because most of us here, we do this all the time. And so we just kind of know what we're doing. I'm going to use a J hook and 4-weight yarn, you guys, but you can use whatever. Okay, let me know if you hear back from him, Tank. I thought about doing that also, but hadn't done it yet. I've done it, Michael. I did 12 hours on mine and 12 hours on someone else's back to back. We took a little break and then went back to back. I've done it. It is it's a challenge for sure. Fry carton sideways in the bag. Oh, you have to check it. Y'all remember that commercial? Did you check it? My daughter Chelsea and I talk about it all the time. Did you check it? Oh. Okay. These are my observations and what I'm taking away from these two things. So these are not word for word. They are not, don't take it as gospel. I may get some things wrong, and that's why we talk about it. So, no big deal, right? So, starting with the book Indefensible by Michael Griesbach, I will tell you that in the beginning of the book, he says that he listened to all of the depositions and that only a small portion of those depositions is in the docuseries. He also said that he read all the transcripts, all kinds of news articles. He spoke to people. He has done quite a bit of research for the book. Oh, good grief. See, you got to check it, Laura, right? Oh, thank you. Crochet, crime, books, planners. Oh, I'm so glad to have you, Erica. Every time we find somebody who likes what we like, we're glad to have them. Even if it was just one of those things. But I'm glad we fit the bill on a lot of them. Okay, this is pretty good. This chain is about, we got 1, 2, 3, almost 4 foot wide. Is that about, is that good? Hey, Cindy. We do just a little bit more, so it'll be 4 feet. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3. Not quite 4 feet yet. And then I'll count them. So, Stephen and the Averys, the Avery family, had a long history of violations and run-ins with law enforcement in the area. So, even though the series does not talk about it, it's a real thing. And the author of this book, just to remind you, I'm more than 4 feet now. Okay, got it. Look and see if I missed anything. 4 feet is 48 inches, and that's a good size. Okay, cool. The author of the book is a prosecutor. He was a prosecutor there in Manitowoc County. I believe Manitowoc. Wasn't Calumet. It was Manitowoc, I believe. Because there's 2 counties that they talk about in this book, Manitowoc and Calumet. Mandy Moo's not here, and I know that she is in one of those places. Hey, Shara. Good to see you. Hey, Deneen. Aw. Nice to see you guys. Kathy's been a member for 10 months. Woo, woo, woo. Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Manitowoc. Yes. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh. The yarn I got from Laura, you guys. So pretty. Hi, Mimi. 9 months. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Such good friends of mine. Oh, I love y'all too. What's up with my voice all of a sudden? Sorry about that. Nancy Mack has been a member for 9 months too. Thank you, Nancy. You have a cold? Yes, it does. It has a lot of depth. I just love it. She's actually really good. She doesn't dye yarn all the time, but she's really good. Dyeing yarn is a full-time thing. It's not an easy. Laura, who has yarn? I don't know if she's still dyeing yarn, but I know she makes beautiful colors also. Beautiful colors. But it's a full-time thing. Okay. Also, Stephen was abusing Lori, his first wife. Law enforcement had been called to the home. What was actually said to Stephen by the sheriff, that was in question. So we're talking about some things from the book that are maybe not the same as what is portrayed in the documentary. And that is what the book is really about, is that he wanted to clear the air about things that were not said, or also the way things were portrayed. Give me a second while I count this real quick. $60, 70, 90. I think we're going to have about 120 here. Nope, that's 120. I got more than 120. There's Leanie. Hi, she's got me on the TV. Hi, good to see you. They all contradict each other. Is there another documentary? There's another documentary on Making a Murderer, on the Avery case. Actually, I'm going to have to try to find the other ones, because what happened? Oh, yep. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Deneen. It has, it seems like it's been a very, very hard year as far as deaths go. About 150, you guys. 150 would be what I would say. Try to make it an even number though, like 148, something like that. Okay, now I'm going to do half double crochets to start mine, okay? Yes, and hi Tracy, good to see you. We're talking about making a murderer. We're going to try to get into this now that I'm back. Yes, and I do know a little bit about that. Yes, I do know a little bit about that too. The county's a mess. Is it still a mess or was it a mess just then? I know it was a mess then. Yes, it is. This is such a hard time of year. It really is hard. I'm sending hugs to all of you. Absolutely. Because I know it's just hard. Anniversaries come up this time of year, and it's just hard to be happy and hard to carry on like nothing's wrong this time of year. But it's good to spend time and have some sort of a distraction. So that's, at least I hope that's what we can do. Is have some sort of a distraction to help with it. Wow, that happens too. That certainly does. Isn't that something how they will do stuff like that? Uh-oh, is it time? Is it time? Must be 8 o'clock. Where's your green toy? It's 8 o'clock. Mr. Fiber is getting him to go do the green toy. Okay, I'm starting mine with half double crochets, y'all. Whoop, what happened? What y'all doing? Okay. I already took my medicine. Okay. So what was said by the sheriff was in question. There is a part in there where Stephen's dad said that the sheriff told him he was out to get him. And then another part I saw where the sheriff said, I've got you now. So I think that whole thing, there's a question about that. Now, the author of the book, Michael Griesbach, actually appears in episode 1. He explains that when he called the district attorney to tell him that Avery wasn't guilty, that the DNA came back showing that someone else was responsible, that they had, no proof at all that Avery was responsible. Vogel asked him if there was anything in Avery's file about Gregory Allen. Now, the case I'm talking about is the first case, because the way it all starts out is that Stephen Avery was accused of raping a woman, and then it turns out that his DNA was not there. Someone else's was. But they didn't have the DNA at the time. They didn't have all that kind of information. All they could do was pull alleles. And well, no, they didn't even have alleles. They had blood types. When the first case happened, they had blood types. Hi, Chels. Hi, honey. How's it going? It was late. Okay, so she was eating. I'm gonna have to go back and watch all and read all y'all's comments. I'm missing stuff. I know I am. Okay. There was a criminal complaint against Gregory Allen in Avery's file. Griesbach's office asks that the matter get investigated by the Attorney General's office. He felt he had a duty, and he did. It is in the law. He had a duty to reveal that information. And then this is where the DCI gets asked to investigate. That's the Department of Criminal Investigations, kind of the state part of, like, it's kind of like the state investigators, kind of like the FBI, but it's on the state level. Okay, so that's my first part from the book. Now I'm going to go back and go to the documentary. So I'm going to go back and forth between Griesbach's book and the documentary. Okay? And these are my notes and my thoughts that I'm writing down based on what was represented in them. I said all that, didn't I? Okay. Avery's were thought of, and this is my words, they were thought of as like white trash. And I only say that because that's kind of the easiest way to explain. They were not, I would say they weren't well thought of in the community. Stephen's lawyer, his first lawyer, said he had poor coping skills, that he had below average IQ, and she felt like this was why so much of these things had happened to Stephen, that this was a part of why he acted the way he did growing up and later. Stephen's account of the road incident was different than his cousin's. Now, the road incident is where Stephen ran his cousin off the road, and she is married to a deputy at the sheriff's department. Stephen says he was a normal kid, that he had done stupid stuff, and that he had hung around with the wrong people. Stephen's dad said he was picked on. He said that his cousin and her deputy husband were picking on Stephen. And the documentary makes it look as if law enforcement was taking sides with the deputy. According to Stephen, his cousin was telling people lies about him. And that is why he ran her off the road. The docuseries and Stephen's lawyer claims that law enforcement trumped up the charges against Stephen on this road incident. However, Stephen was a felon at the time of the incident. He was a felon, and that was because of the cat burning incident. If y'all don't know about that, that was where Stephen threw a cat in the fire, the family cat. Stephen and Lori are portrayed as a loving and happy relationship. However, those in the area know that there was trouble with their relationship. Even the family knows there was trouble in this relationship. It gets really bad when once he goes to jail. Penny Bernstein is the woman that he was accused of raping. She was respected in the community. She was assaulted and beaten. Law enforcement pinned it on Stephen. Now, this much is true. They most definitely pinned it on him. Stephen's lawyer said they kept his name off of the roster, and he was not allowed to make a phone call. Now, that's a violation of his rights for sure. There was already suspicion that Gregory Allen was the actual perpetrator, and law enforcement already had him under surveillance. They had him under surveillance, except that day. The day Penny Bernstein was assaulted, he was not. But Stephen is then convicted, and he gets 32 years for the rape and assault of Penny Bernstein. His wife divorces him after they fought. Now, they fought back and forth while he was in jail, and the letters they wrote back and forth, she threatened to kill the kids. He threatened to kill her. I mean, it was really, really bad. The things they were writing to each other, it was real bad. And there are records of all of that. Okay, any comments so far? Hey Bree, good to see you. Happy Friday to you. Glad you're here. And that is correct. Being a bad guy does not mean he's a murderer. Absolutely, it does not. I'm kind of reading some of these. Yeah, it is. That's for sure. So any other comments so far? I know in talking about this case that there are people on both sides. There are people that believe Stephen Avery is innocent even to this day. I also know that most people, I would say the majority of people, believe he is guilty. I will say that I had my own doubts about this case for a very long time. It was not this book that made me rethink it. Not totally, some of it did. But I have watched the series, the Netflix documentary. I've listened to some podcasts on it, and I have read some things. And those things also make me really question. And the one reason I really wanted to talk about this was, for me, this particular case really goes to show you how, depending on the information that you get, so how, if you only were to watch Making a Murderer and you did not read a book about it, and you did not, and that's the only thing, because at the time, before I knew about this book and I investigated other podcasts and stuff, that's what I'm saying, I had only watched the series when it came out. And I had my doubts. I really did. I had to keep telling myself that the jury was there for the case, that the jury had to have known and seen things that we didn't as watching the documentary. And even when we watch cases on, say, Law and Crime or Court TV, we still are not in the courtroom. We're not, if we don't get to be in the same room as the person who is accused of the crime. We're not the same room as the witnesses. We don't see as much of the body language and all of those things. And even if you watch somebody like Hidden True Crime, and she's there at the Richard Allen thing, even that helps. Having somebody be in the courtroom, it helps us to get another perspective, but it's still her perspective. It's not our own, and it's not the jury. Talking to the jury, like we did with the Dumbbell, that was very enlightening for me, listening to the jury. Yeah, going to them, and yeah, absolutely. Being in the room is totally different. It really is. And then we don't know, because like I said, the jury is the ones who decide, right? So we don't know what they talk about, and we don't know what evidence they get, because not all of the evidence is talked about during the trial. Even if the evidence is put into, it's logged in as evidence, not everything is actually talked about, and not everything is actually shown. It's still evidence. Well, we don't always see everything, but the jury has access to it. So it makes it's just the system, right? The system is as the system is. It's all just super interesting to me. Yes, and they fight about that. Sure, they fight about that stuff. That is part of those pretrial hearings and all of those things that go on. They argue back and forth about what can come in and what can't come in. That little girl, she's not a little girl, but today she got a new trial. The girl that hit her mother over the head with the frying pan, she's getting a new trial. And she's getting a new trial because the defense was not allowed to do a rebuttal. So you were on a federal case. Well, that stuff is really deep. Those federal cases are super, that stuff gets really deep, those federal cases. Mm-hmm. Oh, what is that girl's name? Did y'all catch that today? I wanted to mention it. Sydney Powell, is that right? I think that's her name. She's getting a new trial. And her lawyer did an interview, and he said that when her trial first came to trial, the family of Sydney Powell did not want there to be a trial. They just wanted her to get help. So it's going to be pretty interesting, I think. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I said little girl, but yeah, she's 23. So, okay. What's the rest? Yeah, here it is about the lab. This is from episode 1 of Making a Murderer. The DNA at the time was less advanced. The lab could only identify the alleles from the blood and from the DNA. And there were extra alleles that did not belong to Stephen Avery or Penny Bernstein. So they isolated the alleles that are in everybody's blood, right? Stephen's mother sent copies of transcripts of the case to all the media outlets she could. Several copies were returned. Pike County murder sentencing. What sentencing? Are you talking about the trial or what do you mean the sentencing? Because he has not been did he take a deal? Are you talking about Billy Wagner? You know how much I'm into that case. Hi, Lori. We're doing scrap blankets again if you want to get in on that. We're doing scrap blankets. You have to tell me, Annie. Oh, for the mother. Well, I thought they had all that already. A flow chart for that one. Yes. We talked about that when I covered it. Aw, putting the squares together for Boggy Creek blankets. Cool. You already have 2 going? Okay. Well, just show pictures and hashtag me. We're doing Scrap and Crime Blanket 25. Hey, Tamra. Well, I'm glad you're here. For the whole year in Ottawa, 25th murder. The whole year, 25 of them. Wow. Ooh. Okay. So the Innocence Project takes Stephen's case. The DNA is retested, and there's one pubic hair that does not match Stephen Avery. It matches Gregory Allen. The victim even hears something about Allen, calls the sheriff's department. She's told they have jurisdiction, they're handling the matter, don't worry about it, it's all good, they got the right guy. The victim, Penny Bernstein. Allen commits at least 2 more rapes and assaults after Stephen is convicted. Allen is incarcerated and convicted and gets 47 years. The Attorney General's office investigates the police department, the city, all of them for their handling of the Penny Bernstein case. And they come to a decision that there was no violations and that they bring absolutely no charges against anyone for what happened to Stephen Avery. So then Stephen Avery is advised by his lawyers to file a lawsuit. Now that's a really short synopsis of episode 1, okay? Oh, that's good to hear. I'm so glad that you got to enjoy. That's as it should be. Absolutely. Oh, yes. I still have something for you. It's right here. This is for you, Tamara. I just have to put it in the mail. Well, that's true. Don't I know that? Just saying. But we're not going to talk about that tonight. Okay. Now let me see where I want to go from here. Before we and the Making a Murderer series, docu-series, okay, there's 2 parts. And the first part has something like 9 or 10 episodes. And then there's the second part. And in the second part, it is where they are trying to they bring in another lawyer. He pays and gets another lawyer, and he's trying to get out. And there's new stuff that happens, and it covers part of Brendan Dassey, the cousin, the nephew. Is it his nephew? Yes, it's his nephew, and it covers his trial also. So there's a lot to the series. There's a lot to the story. Oh, you're welcome. Yes. Oh, you are right about that. Boundaries is a thing. Okay, so let me skip ahead just a little bit in my notes. I also have notes for episode 2, but before I do, I want to go back to Okay, Annie, thank you. I will be looking for that though, because man, I've been following that case from the get-go, and I've been waiting for Billy Wagner to go on trial. So back to the book, Indefensible. The author was a prosecutor at the time he was writing this book. He's writing the book in an effort to find the truth. He believes there should be reform in the justice system which is why he was so involved, and he wrote another book. And the other book was called The Innocent Killer. And that is about Stephen Avery's first case where he was wrongfully put away for Penny Bernstein's assault. He said there were 2 petitions that were signed by over 500,000 people each, asking for Stephen and Brandon's release. One of them was sent to Obama, who was president at the time. One was sent to the governor of... What you got, bud? One was sent to the governor. What you got? You need help? Let me see it. It's just one little piece. You can't get it, huh? Almost got it. There it goes. You mean move? There you go. Did you get it? That's all. That's all. He gets that last little piece in there. There he goes. He's going to go ask Dad to take him out. That last little bit, he has to have help for it. And he gets, need help. He says the producers of Making a Murderer interviewed him, citing an interest in the wrongs perpetrated by the former law enforcement against Avery. Then he says that the vibe changed during the interview. Only about 3 minutes was used of the interview that he did, although he spent a very long time speaking about the wrongs in the system. It became clear that the producers wanted to go with the belief that the local law enforcement had planted evidence. Then he talks about the cat incident, and he says that Stephen picked up the cat, poured gas on it, and threw it in the fire. It jumped out. He caught it. He poured more gas on it and threw it back in. That Stephen has a very dark side. He actually rammed his cousin's car. He had been stalking her. He would rub himself on her car and expose himself to her. When this incident happened, he actually sped around her car from behind to cut her off and rammed into her, almost putting her in the ditch. He came at her with a rifle, ordered her to get into his car. She pointed into the front seat at her infant daughter, and he let her go because of that. Police found a rifle under one of the kids' beds at Avery's house with a round loaded in the chamber. And that's when they arrested him. And here's something that was hi, Niecy. Here's something very interesting, and I missed it the first 4 times I watched this documentary. I totally missed it. I don't remember hearing or seeing this information. Stephen Avery was facing 48 years maximum for the road rage incident because he was a felon. Okay? He had spent time in jail for the incident with the cat. It was a felony, cruelty to an animal. So he was already a felon, and then he was a felon with a gun for the incident. When he was convicted of the rape and assault, that was after, right? The Judge Hazelwood, tacked on 6 years. Those 6 years were for the charges against him during the road rage incident. Okay? He would have had to serve 6 years regardless. Regardless. He would have had to serve that 6. He served 18, was put away for the assault, the rape and assault, but he would have had to serve 6 years. I did not know that until recently. That was new information to me. Now, Griesbach and others from his office, they believe that Deputy Kusch, or Kirsch, I'm not really sure how to say his name, even though I do speak German, that he drew the composite based on Avery's mugshot. Penny received phone calls from someone that she thought was her assailant, and she knew it wasn't Avery. Griesbach and his DA boss were deposed in the case of the wrongful suit against Avery. Had the RAV4 not been found, Avery might have crushed it on the property. Okay, now we're getting into the deal with Teresa, into the murder of Teresa. Her RAV4 was found on his property. But had they not found it, he would have been able to go and take it and use the car crusher that was on the property and crush it. Nobody would have known. The prosecutor was asked to join the district attorney, Rohrer, at the salvage yard. They had to put together the paperwork for the search warrant. So he had to go out and interview detectives and gather the information that was going on the search warrant for the property. The search warrant was granted. Griesbach remained with law enforcement during the search. He was there when the search team dog alerted on the burn barrel 100 feet behind the Dassey trailer. Of Avery? Are you talking about Avery? That there were many infringements while in custody? In I don't know that word either. I don't think they tracked it, but yes, she did have a cell phone. They got into her records. They got into her cell phone records. And then they got her cell phone, which was found in the burn barrel. Or near the burn barrel. I believe it was her purse, her cell phone, and some other things that were belongings of her were found close to the burn barrel and the burn pit. I understand, Shara. I understand. It's one of those things. So once the investigation became a murder investigation, Griesbach and Rohrer were no longer involved. I was confused about that listening to the book. Infractions, is that the word? Annie says it's infractions. Okay. Well, I mean, he certainly could have done that. I mean, he could have done that easily. So, okay, I want to make a note where I'm at here. Hold on. This is where I'm at right here. Now let's go back. Let's go back to episode 2 and let me see what I wrote on that. Because I think we need to bring the information in. I know, Nisi, it's very confusing, and I don't mean to make it confusing. I'm just trying to cover both the book and the documentary. If we go back to episode 2, it starts with October 31st, 2005, Teresa Halbach goes missing. That's what they started with. And then they go into Stephen Avery is enveloped into the system and going to meetings with lawmakers. He got released, and he's going to all these meetings. He becomes a golden boy for a task force that wants to. They form a task force. It's the Avery Task Force. Then this task force introduces something called the Avery Bill. Stephen meets Jody. He and his wife at that point were divorced. He's no longer getting to see her or the kids. Once he gets out of jail, he meets Jody. He's working at the yard, and there's this picture of him making his life better, which it looks like he's trying to do. Okay, looks like he's trying to do that. And he's suing for $36 million. That's the one number I was able to come up with, was 36 million, and I think that's right. I'm not quite positive. The documentary shows clips of depositions, and it's showing clips from October of 2005, right before Teresa disappears. Okay. There's a draft to compensate Stephen for around $400,000. Officers are questioned about a phone call in 1995 that Gregory Allen told a sergeant where he was being held for one of those other rapes that he did after the Penny Bernstein one. And he said that he committed the rape. And I think it was a Detective Brown or Deputy Brown from Calumet County that called and talked to Coburn. And law enforcement makes a report. Andy Coburn makes a report the day after Stephen is released about that phone call in 1995. And they do a lot of, in the documentary, where Stephen is talking from jail. And he's heard talking about a cover-up. The documentary appears to be throwing Andy Coburn and James Link and Detective Kush under the bus. Now, that's my opinion. And that's Michael Griesbach's opinion. Teresa was last seen on October 31st. The last place that she was seen was on the Avery property. The last person to see her was Stephen Avery. On November 1st, the Avery bill passed. Quietly. By this time, Stephen has been arrested. Stephen begins to say that the county planted evidence. The special prosecutor, Ken Krantz, is Kratz, however you say his name, is appointed to the case because of the lawsuit that's going on with the county. The Avery property is searched for 8 days, and remains are found in a burn pile and in a burn barrel behind Stephen's trailer on November 8th. Good night, Annie. Good of you to come in here. I appreciate it. There's an interview of Stephen shown partially, and he's denying all involvement. Her car is found on the property. Now let's just say here are some of the things that are against Stephen. Her car is found on the property. The key to the car is found in the bedroom. His DNA is on the key. His blood is in her car. And her remains are on the property. That's a lot. Later on, they also talk about the fact that Stephen Avery's sweat, his DNA from sweating, is underneath. Good night, Tamra. Is underneath the hood of her car, where he had opened the hood and closed it. Okay, that's all the way up to episode 2. Are y'all totally confused? Oh, you're not going. Okay. Oh, she said goodnight to Annie. Sorry. I thought you were saying goodnight too. According to her cell phone records, she left the property and returned. She left his property and then returned to his property? Okay, that's not in episode 2. They talk about that later on in, are you talking about the documentary talks about that? I know. It's just, you have to keep in mind, there's just this point that I really want to make, and that is you have to keep in mind that you are not, when someone is making a documentary, you have to consider who's making the documentary, why they're making the documentary, and how much information they actually use. Okay, sure. So that's later on down in season 2. Okay. Yeah. Now, is that are you talking about that's according to the other lawyer? Yeah, we'll get into all that down the road, but it's not for today. So, how to put this? Stephen Avery was railroaded and they did pin the rape and assault on him, and he was put in jail and he served 18 years. When the Innocence Project took over the case, they found evidence that helped get him out of jail. He was released, and the best I could see, the best I could figure out, that he was out of jail for something like 2.5 years before Teresa Halbach goes missing. Okay, Shara. The name of the book is Indefensible, and there's actually one episode of the docuseries named that as well. I noticed that. I hadn't noticed it before. There is one episode of the series. The series is called Making a Murderer on Netflix. The book is Indefensible by Michael Griesbach. I should have a link to it down below the live in the description. I should have, if it's there. I'm not positive. So then when Teresa Halbach, at the time that she goes missing, Stephen Avery is in a lawsuit against the county, Manitowoc County, for the wrongful suit. He's very close to getting, and this is all true, okay? He's very close to having some sort of something, possibly getting money, possibly having some sort of a deal with them. They were trying to draft up something so that they could offer him that $400,000 or something, that they were trying to work something out with him so that they could solve this case when Teresa went missing. Now, I also want to mention there is a woman named, she's a psychologist that wrote a book, and I'm trying to remember her name, and she was on Duty Ron's channel, and she was asked because she did some interview with him and spoke to him as part of, research. And she was asked what she thought of Stephen Avery, and she said, in her opinion, he himself felt like he owed them one. So for whatever that's worth. I think, in part, that he thought that he could do this because of what they did before, and that there's no way he would get convicted because they were already in trouble. That's what I think. Family. And for a very long time when I watched the documentary, I thought part of his family was involved in setting him up. That maybe they set Stephen up. I went back and forth with that. Did the family do something and frame Stephen because he was it would be easy because he'd already been in trouble before. He would just go right back to jail. I don't know. There is no proof that I have seen that any of them were involved, but it was weird because, especially when we get to part 2 of the docuseries, there is a little bit of some talk that kind of makes it sound that way, but they had to be careful and not, say that. The book is called Indefensible. Yes. And that also is in all of the records. They actually, he called and he called from next door at the Dassies. So he didn't even use his phone. He borrowed her phone to make the phone call so she wouldn't know it was him calling. There's a lot going both directions. And I knew this was going to be controversial, just so y'all know. I knew it. I mean, 500,000 people with a petition. Let me finish my notes here. Where Making a Murderer came out, and outrage towards law enforcement began. This was the year of the anger towards law enforcement across the country, 2015. Okay, everybody was hating on law enforcement. In February 2016, there were bomb threats. There were emails, there were phone calls. SWAT teams were called on officers. Blogs, Facebook groups, web sleuths. And I'm not talking about web sleuths, the program or whatever. I'm talking about what they are called online, those that are trying to solve cases and stuff like that. There was an alternate, and we talked about this last time, but there was an alternate suspect. And this was as told by a blogger named Convoluted Brian. A woman said that her husband and she had leased a home 6 miles from the Avery salvage yard, that the husband was acting strangely, that the husband had told her that he had gone out to that rental property and that he had visited the salvage yard, and that was on October 31st. He told her that that a photographer asked if she could take pictures of the rental property while he was there at the property. He had a cut finger. She later found a gas can out in their storage building with a bloody fingerprint on it. He had told her he had burned a doll crib and that he had hurt himself, but the doll crib he was talking about was not burned. They'd had a fight, and it led to a domestic violence call on November 6th, the night after the RAV4 was found. Months later, she says that she found women's clothing with red stains on them under a staircase. And Michael Griesbach talks about this being what is called exculpatory evidence. And that the ones to decide what is really relevant is the jury. They're the final judge of that evidence, right? Griesbach found this evidence after the convictions, okay? The statute says that if a prosecutor knows of a new, credible, and material evidence, creating a reasonable likelihood that a defendant did not commit an offense, the prosecutor must disclose that evidence to the defendant. Okay? But is that credible? That was the question. Was that information credible? He turned it over to the prosecutor on the case. Now, he went back into the records to find out, good night, Bree, to find out anything he could about whether her information was whether that actually happened. And when he did, he found out he was the prosecutor who handled their domestic violence charges for that couple, for that woman and her husband. So that much was true. And that's as far as I have gotten in the book. He is trying to decide how much of her information is relevant and how much that the law enforcement actually checked all of that out as to whether it would help to get him a new trial or not. Sydney Powell, after conviction from beating her mom with iron skillet and knife, 30, getting new trial due to judge not allowing Sydney to call expert witnesses on her mental capacity. Yeah, that's it. Ricky Hochstetter was the name of a boy you were talking about earlier. Okay. Oh, hi, Nan's Life. She says one of those officers has a preliminary hearing for misconduct. Well, that's good. I mean, everything should come into the light, right? Okay, that's all of my notes. We will have to get into more of what actually happened. I'll try to do a timeline if that would help. Maybe I need to do a timeline. What do y'all think? Like from when he was convicted and when all this stuff. I do have, let me hold on real quick and let me do something here. Get another page open here, because I do have the ability to look at Scribd on Hoopla. Yes, someone else mentioned it was in Hoopla. Yeah, like a whiteboard, right? Good night, Joan. You take care of yourself, my friend. Thank you. I really did do a lot of notes this week on it. Get me a whiteboard. Hi, sorry, I forgot it was on Hoopla. Someone else had mentioned that before. Now let me see. May have to log into it. But my stuff that I have saved, oh, I didn't have to. Look at there. I thought it was saved in here, but I guess not. I'll have to find it again. But I have the transcript of the court. Let's see, documents. Oh, okay. Well, let me see if I can find them. I think I have to go to Scribd to find them, and then you save them in Everand. See if it shows it there. Mm-hmm. Still not showing it. Here it is. Ah, that may be why I was able to find it, because I was able to find it on script. So, yes and no. If you read the book, he does go over a lot of it, but there is stuff that he does not talk about. That's one of the reasons I'm trying to tell you from both sides, because there's a lot more stuff in the series also. But that's because it's done movie style, right? So there's a lot of, back and forth. But there's parts of the series that I didn't even write notes about because of that, because there wasn't anything really all that important. It was just more of background, or I don't know how else to explain it. I'll show you what I'm seeing. This is State of Wisconsin versus Stephen Avery. Case number 05CF381. There's Attorney Kratz, Attorney Strang. So now I do know there was a stipulation made about glare. And they had some sort of stipulation right off the bat about glare and how they were going to handle the glare of all the stuff. Anyway, they actually had to put a stipulation in there about that. Hi, Natalie. Thank you. Oh, it's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so there was a stipulation that he was convicted of a felony before November 5th of 2005 and make further evidence on that issue irrelevant, and you understand. So that was stipulated to. That is why, and I did not realize that. And they don't talk about that in the documentary. They stipulated to the fact that he was a felon. That is why I missed that about the 6 years. Okay. So he agreed to that was irrelevant. Interesting. Then they talk about opening instructions. Anyway, I may go in and read through some of this, and then I will be able to. I don't know for sure, but it would be good. A unanimous agreement. Yeah, so this is before they even start, and they're talking about different things that there's going to be, that they're going to tell the jury in the instructions to the jury. Paralegal, I know, right? I would have loved that. Google foul play site. Okay, there you go. purposes of the opening instructions simply to outline the elements the state must prove. Don't think that level of specificity is required. They're talking about Brandon Dassey. Interesting. I will go through and see what's in here that I need to share with y'all. But if you want to find it, you can find it online. It's the Stephen Avery transcript. Hi, Jeannie. How are you tonight? Very interesting. But I do know that Michael Griesbach, being a prosecutor, he went through all this stuff. And he does say in his book that he wanted to know what was real and what wasn't real. And that's what he set out to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch it up because we are getting closer to 2 hours here. And I'm going to show you the books that I got. And there we go. And then we're going to open these mini brands. Oh, good. Yes, that is true. He did work for the Innocence Project. He does say that in the book. Yes, he does. Hi, Bridget. I tried playing your playlist most of the day today. I did try to get as much of it in as I could, trying to get you some more views. It was really fun doing some of those first videos. Okay. Here is the first book I got. They had a bunch of them that were, this is Books A Million. They had a bunch of them that were marked down on, and they had like 2 or 3 tables. So if you have a Books A Million, you might go and I haven't said this in a while. You guys, if you want to put the word teal, T-E-A-L in, you can, it will drop you don't need the exclamation or anything. It will drop your channel if you want to. The word is teal. But they had a whole bunch of tables with books that were all marked down. This one is Melissa Dela Cruz, and it's called The Headmaster's List. This was a YA book, young adult. It says Scream, Float, Crash, 4 teens, 3 suspects, 1 burning question. Who would want a high school sophomore dead? This was originally $20, and I got it for $6.97. When high school sophomore Chris Moore is tragically killed in a car crash, Armstrong Prep is full of questions. Who was at the wheel? And more important, who was at fault? A hunt for answers intensifies when a student's true crime podcast takes an interest in the case, pushing Spencer further into the depths of the sinister mystery. So I thought that would be pretty good. Looks like a good one. And for $7, because my goal this next year is to read more books. Now, I want to get through a lot of what I have in my Audible, too. Then I got the Michael Connelly book. Now, I don't know when this one came out. It's called The Waiting, and it's a part of the Bosch series. I don't know if y'all have listened or watched the series. This one came out in 2024, so this is a new book. And I believe as a member, I got 10% off of this particular one. The Harry Bosch series, Cultural Phenomenon, Connolly's latest entry, Sharp as his first. Renee Ballard and the LAPD's open unsolved unit get a hotshot DNA connection between a recently arrested man and a serial rapist and murderer who went quiet 2 decades ago. That's that one. You already have everybody? Oh, that's sweet of you, Jeannie. That's awesome. Hi, Rebecca. And then there's this one called Holly. It's a Stephen King. This one was 50% off, and then as a member, I got 10%. So this was about $13, something like that. This is the return of the beloved King character Holly Gibney. Readers have witnessed Holly's gradual transformation from a shy but also brave and ethical recluse in Mr. Mercedes, to Bill Hodges' partner in Finders Keepers, to a full-fledged, smart, occasionally tough private detective in The Outsider. In King's new novel, Holly is on her own and up against a pair of unimaginably depraved and brilliantly disguised adversaries. So I need to go and look up those other books before I do this one, because I think I have at least one of those in my Audible lineup. I think I have Mr. Mercedes. Hi, Angela. How are you tonight? And then there's this one. Does anybody know what this is about? Like Stillwater, Oklahoma, Beth? Mimi does. This really fascinates me. This case really fascinates me. We have not talked about that. Is that the movie Innocence Lost? Because I know there's a movie. This is the Memphis 3, the true story of the West Memphis 3. Now, this particular one is by Mara Leverett. The abuses of the criminal justice system shown here are so blatant and so profoundly tragic that they would be hard to believe were it not for the depth and even-handedness of Mara Leverett's reporting. In 2011, one of the most tangled miscarriages of justice in American legal history became even more profoundly twisted when Damian Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly Jr. were released after 18 years in prison. Another 18-year one. So this one is about West. If you guys want to do this one down the road, we can. This would be another good one to do. We could do this book. And I believe I got this one at 10% off. Not sure. I don't have my deal. So that's the books I got. They showed the private area of one of the boys' actors. Oh, really? What was the name of was the name of the movie Devil's Knot though? Does anybody know? Innocence Lost, is that the name of the movie? Because that sounds right. Innocence Lost sounds right. I think it is too. See what I mean about the movies, the documentaries? You see what I mean about that? You really have to be careful. And it's really hard to make up your mind about things because it depends on who's doing the documentary. Okay, this is going to be the bookcase. And I'm probably going to need another one. Yep, that's the bookcase. There's something, this one's pretty thick. Oh, reminders of him. That's my third one. Oh, Vampire Diaries. That's my second one of those. Oh, there's a new. That's a new one. Mini brand books. That's a new bookmark. And another one. The two bookmarks. Ooh, it's a new one. I don't have this one yet. It's Black Beauty. Black Beauty You. Yeah, this does work, but let me tell you, it's so small that it kind of messes with things. This is much better. Black Beauty You. Anna Sewell. Maybe it's just Black Beauty. I think it's just Black Beauty. The U is just the horseshoe. It's Black Beauty. Z? Did Z come in? Oh. It's Z. Look, y'all. Hi. How are you tonight? I'm so glad you came in. Have you been listening? This is one of the ones you need? Black Beauty? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, if it's teal, it's teal. Aw. Hairstylist hands. Yeah, that's it. Well, that was fun. That one was a fun one to open. Two I already had and one that I didn't. Maybe I'll get another one, Chelsea. We're going to Chelsea and the kids have them too, and we are going to trade them. We're going to trade books. Oh. If it's windy, it's Cindy. How funny. I'm so glad you came by. I love you. You know that. Y'all see my books back here? I put them together. There's 3 bookcases there. This is my little mini brand books. This one down here at the bottom, these are copies of some of them that I already have. And then here's 2 more here full of books. So these right here will go in this bottom one because these are copies of ones I have. Oh, I don't think I can fit it in there. Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait. Let's open the other one. See what we got. I know, they're so cute. Oh, you do? Watching that movie? It's a good movie. Sure. You know how I am. I know. Now I have a new bookcase too. It'll be my fourth one. Ooh, wow. A postal saying. She says it's a postal saying, y'all. I have to put my bookcase together. She said she wants one now. They're the mini brands. Mini brands. And this is, they have them in all different kinds of things. Is it on your license plate? How funny. This is what they are. And they have all different kinds of themes. But this particular one is the books. Sarah, I have extras on some of those. I can send them to you. Here's another bookcase. If you're a postal worker, you have to stick mail in the case to start. So the saying is, this mail later can lick and stick. If you're a postal worker, you have to stick mail in the case to sort. In the case to sort. You can lick and stick. Oh my gosh. Someday, I'm still saying it, Z. Someday I want to go back to California, you know. Oh, look. Book number 4. I have 4 of these. Holiday Inn. That's a new one. Holiday Inn. Oh, can you see it? By James Howell. Same one who wrote Bunnicula, and I've got that one. Holiday Inn. Do you have that one, Chels? Yep, we've been collecting. Well, they were on sale when we bought all these. They were on sale. Oh. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I don't think I have that one yet. So these 3 are new, and 2 that I already had. 3 that I already had. So three copies and 3 new. I don't think I have that one. I got to get them out and look. Here's my bookcases. Oh. No, this is the one I have. Library of Souls. See, Reminders of Him, Goosebumps. Night of the Living Dummy. So I have 3 extras. I have 2 extras of that one. An extra of the Library of Souls and an extra of the Vampire. These are the extras. Now these are the ones I have. Here's all of my bookmarks. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 bookmarks. I feel like I should have had more bookmarks. There's that Reminders of Him. Pride and Prejudice. See, there's Banuncula, so this is the same author. There's that Vampire Diaries, Library of Souls by Miss Peregrine's. That's Miss Peregrine's. Those are the same series there. And then we've got Dog Man, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days. This is the first one. Here's Roderick Rules. Then we have Roald Dahl's The Twits, Matilda. There's that Night of the Living Dead, and Deep Trouble, the Goosebumps. So that's my collection so far, you guys. Yes, the book's open. Now, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, here, yes, they open and they have writing in them. And you're supposed to be able to use the magnifying glass to read it. But it's hard to read with this thing, let me just tell you. I almost need another magnifying glass above the magnifying glass. That's why this one would be much easier. That at least you guys can see the writing that way. Yep, miniature books. Aren't they fun? They're just fun. One of the books, I don't remember which one it is. Is it the Dog Man, Chelsea? There's another bookmark. Yeah, okay, the Dog Man. I think they only got the license to do the first few pages because there's only a few pages of Dog Man. It's almost like the preview that you would get when you look at them on Amazon or something. See, the rest of this is blank. So the Dog Man books, you do not get the whole book. What am I going to read to you? If I do, it wouldn't be from here. Okay, now let's see what's going to fit. There we go. I'm going to have to write down which ones I have now. I didn't look to see what was... Oh, yep, they're going to fit. What their designations were. Hey, Matt. Oh, good to see you. Glad you came by. If you placed your order for Book by Anyone, what is Book by Anyone? I don't know what Book by... Oh, I know I need a planner for these little books, don't I? Okay, Diary of a Limp... See, some of them are ultra rare. Some of them are rare. And then you have the luxury. These are legendary, and I have 4 of them. Iconic. Which Dogman do I have? Dogman Unleashed is a luxury. The Paragon, that's a luxury. Black Beauty is a rare. It's an ultra rare. Black Beauty is an ultra rare. Cool. These are the mini brands, Matt. They're the mini brands. But it's the books edition. Everybody's going to go look for the books, Chels. It's so fun. Should we open one more? We can open one more, right? You guys want to open one more? Hang on. Everybody's loving these books. I knew that they would be fun. You better open them, she says. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying it. I knew it would be fun. Okay. I know Chelsea wants to know what all I have. How many she said only 6 more. She only needs 6 more. So how many is that all together, Chels? How many do you actually have if you only need 6 more? These are kind of like the LOLs, you know, or the kids get the Doorables, but the mini brands are like food, there's fashion. Each one comes with a bookshelf. $12.99, yes. You don't want to know how many I have. Oh, it looks different. No. Do I have this one? I think I have this one. Yep, I have this one. Deep Trouble. So that's an extra. Anxiety bookshelves. Oh, that's new. Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Suspicious Minds. How fun. By Gwenda Bond. Yes, he did. Elvis did sing that. Suspicious Minds. For $12, you can get 200 books. What you talking about? Oh my gosh. Oh, another bookmark. Oh, and another Peculiar Children. So these are extra. That's an extra one. Okay. I have like 8 more. I do too. Yep, she started it, y'all. She started it. I'm going to have 2 sets. Open one more. You guys going to say that every time. The Peculiar movie is good, is it? I don't think I've seen it. I know you like the fantasy horror stuff. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. She says that's a good movie. I don't think I've seen that one. More. It's addicting. All right, hold on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. I have 5 more. What the hell? Let's see what we got. Then I'll know what I still have to collect. I know I will have to buy more, and I will do it if I don't have them all, because y'all know what a collector I am. It says it's a real readable pages. You know why I like them though, right? It's teal. Kinder eggs for adults. I don't know how many shelves I'm going to need. Oh, you're welcome, Z. I love you, girl. Okay, what's on top? Oh, there's a new bookmark I have. A red one. And a yellow book. Oh, I have that one. It's Dog Days. So that's a second book. Second one of those. Okay. Oh, that's new. Mad Libs. God, I haven't seen that in forever. Mad Scientist, Mad Libs. Oh my gosh, I have not seen that in forever. How to Get My Look by Albert Einstein. Don't know why I can read that. Have fun. Yeah, we're going to open a tiny neighborhood library. Bring your own magnifying glass. I did too, Z. Oh, I think it's new. L.J. Smith, The Vampire Diaries. This is a different one. This one. Okay, let's see. This one is a common. And there's only 2 of the, it starts with us and reminders of him. There's only 2 of the books, by the way, of the Colleen Hoover. Suspicious Minds is a common. Mad Libs is common. Well, it's the first one of mine. Okay. That's all we got on that one. So what are you talking about 200 of these? Are y'all talking about 200 of these books? Where did you see that? I know you put a link in there, but where? Is it these books you're talking about? What you talking about? I've missed something. Walmart. They have them in Canada. Okay, ready? Here we go. That looks different. That looks different than anything I've got. Nope, the Twits. I have that one. Don't I have that one? Nope, it's right there. See, I have that one. So that's an extra. This one was an extra. This one was an extra. Those are the new ones. I don't know. I'll have to look at it later and see. Little Sister. That's another new. I got 2 new ones in this one. But that was I think that one is a common. No, Little Sister. Little Sister is a rare. And it's a Scholastic book. In case you were wondering. Yeah, they're going to go try to get I know, Cindy, I know. I've had them for a while because I plan to open them with you guys. Another red bookmark. And, oh, Dogman. I don't think I have the first book. That one is a luxury. It's right here. Those two, the 2 luxury ones. I have all 3 now of these. I have all 3 of the luxury ones. We'll check that off here in a minute. Okay. You did go on a good day. Yeah. This is fun. I'm glad y'all are enjoying this with me. It's a lot more fun than me sitting here doing it by myself. Try not to injure myself too. Ooh. My can is getting full. Now, every one of them comes with the book to tell you, and every one of them comes with the bookcase. And it comes with 3 packs. It is Friday. Oh, that's a great idea. Make them into stitch markers. Ooh, I like that. Clever girl. What's Babysitter's Club? I don't have that one yet. Babysitter's Club. It is a rare. Babysitter's Club is a rare. Just put like a little, oh, there's my third one of those. The twits. Got more twits. More twits. I got more twits than I need. Hi, Rosie. Well, I think a pick-up order would be good, Chels. Oh, Night of the Living Dummy. I'm going to have enough to give to everybody. That was anticlimactic. There is a bookmark in here, though. I almost missed it. That's my second one of those. So in case anybody's counting, I have 2 blue, 2 red, 2 white, 2 purple, and 2 brown bookmarks. Serbs has gone to bed. Two left. Yeah, those would make good stitch markers too, wouldn't they? They're plasticky. I don't know to think about how you would attach something to that. Cindy. She's over the living dummies. Okay, here we go. My trash is full. Throwing the bookcase away. I think that's enough bookcases. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 extra bookcases. I can give books and bookcases away. What cookies? I missed what cookies you were eating. Did you make cookies? Another bookmark. Another Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Okay. Maybe a new one? It's a new one. It's BFG. World Doll BFG. That one is, must be a common. It's a common. I got a lot of them now. There's not very many left. Persimmon cookies from scratch. Oh my goodness. My mom used to make persimmon bread. Oh, reminders of him. What's that? 3? 3 extra. It's my 4th one and 3 extras. Only one left. Oh, I used to make sausage balls for, was it for Christmas I'd make those, Chels? That's the sausage and the cheese and the Bisquick. Is that right? Is there butter in that too? I don't remember. Bisquick, sausage, and cheese. I'm getting kind of hungry, actually. I know. I know. I'm going to have to spend some money to get the ones I don't have. But that's what us collectors do. I'm a collector. Okay, it's the last 3, you guys. The suspense. Ooh. Oh, no. Little sister. So that's my second one of those. Okay, 2 left. If you're wondering, this is the instructions to put together the bookcase. Magnifier. Oh, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So now I have 2 of those. And a white bookmark. Nothing new. Got one more chance at something new. I'm peeking. Nope. That is it. Okay, what do I have and what do I need? I don't know if you can be able to see that one. All these pins. Where's my red one? I'll use the orange one. Okay. This is the iconic. Okay, legendary is, I got that one. That's Night of the Living Dummy. I've got that one. Stranger Things. I've got that one. I've got Dogman and Dogman Unleashed. And what was that one? Miss Peregrine. Then Dog Days I have. Black Beauty I have. Do I have this Wimpy Kid? I don't think I have that one. That's the green one. Now I have the red, the blue, and the yellow. And then I have this one, and 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 this one. I don't have Cat Kid. I don't have Hollow City. or Burn Book or Clueless. Hi, Nifty. Good to see you. I have reminders of him, but I don't have It Starts With Us. I have Mad Libs. I have BFG and Matilda. I don't have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I have lots of Twits. I have Roderick Rules, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Oh, I don't have that Stranger. I have Stranger Things, Suspicious Minds. I don't have that other one. I have this one. Oh, well, that's okay. I have the Night of the Living Dummy. Vampire Diaries. This one. And Deep Trouble. Okay. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11. There's 11 more. See, I got to buy some more. Oh, good night, Z. I'm so glad you came in. Good to see you. Okay, good night, Tank. Yep. 12. The one I marked. Yes, so that's 12. Exactly. Do you have any of those, Chels? Do you have everything that I showed? Surely you do if you only need 6. These are the ones I have extras. And these are all extra. You need Black Beauty and Stranger Things that I got. Okay. Good night to everybody that's leaving me. I appreciate you all. Okay. So you don't have Suspicious Minds is what you're saying. Okay, so now I have Dogman and Unleashed. See, I have that one, that one, that one. Yeah. These are all extra. That one's an extra. So I got 3 of those. That's what I've got. Yeah, this is extra, right? Yep. Little Sister is extra, and then this one is extra. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I had separated the extras from the others. Okay. good. Finished your crochet hat. Cool. Do they have page numbers? Oh, I don't know. Yes, they do. Yep, they do have page numbers. Well, Diary of a Wimpy Kid doesn't, but I don't know if they do anyway. Yep. Okay, now I'm done. Oh, that's okay. How much of it do you know? What do you have questions about? Y'all let me know if you're watching this, if you're doing the replay. Thank you. But let me know some of the questions that you guys have about all of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really interested in knowing what you still feel maybe unresolved for you. You know what I'm talking about? Like what answers, what things that you've read and you've watched, what things did it not answer for you? I'm going to look for a timeline. I am going to look for one. I'm going to look for one. Oh, Mimi, thank you. I don't know if I have. Nope, I don't. I don't have it. I don't have him in here. The Flashy. Thank you so much for that. I lost a bunch of my assets when I do not. I do not think he's innocent. But I'm going to be looking for a timeline. I think that would help a lot. Okay. So yeah, let me know. And you can email me if you have anything. I have several people who have emailed me with different things on different cases we talked about, and I love it. Especially, there's a lot of times it's stuff that I've already seen, like I've seen a lawn crime on it, or I've seen, whatever. But I do have some stuff. Hold on. Let me just check before we go. Was going to look at, I had some stuff pulled on my phone. Like 7, here's one from WKYC, which is a Cleveland channel. 7 details that were left out of Making a Murderer. In their media appearances surrounding their Netflix series, creators Laura Riccardi and Moira Demos have been forced to defend themselves. This came out in 2016. The Netflix docuseries Making a Murderer's audience is calling for convicted killer Stephen Avery's release, but some involved with the case say the filmmakers conveniently left out key pieces of evidence. 10-part series. I was right. Hold on. Number 1, additional DNA evidence linking Avery to Halbach's car. Yes, I'm going to do planners tomorrow, Lori. Yes, I am. During the trial, Avery's lawyer suggested that police planted evidence, including Avery's blood, in Halbach's SUV. According to former Calumet County District Attorney Ken Kratz, Avery's DNA was also found under the hood. I talked about that. So obviously, they're saying that there's no way they were going to carry around sweat from his hand. It was found on Avery's property and was at the crime lab since November the 5th. The cat fire, I talked about that. They downplayed the cruelty charge. Avery was accused of soaking the cat in gasoline. I told you about that. Then the remains in the fire pit. Halbach's tooth, identified with dental records, and a rivet from the jeans she was wearing the day she went missing were found in the fire pit near Avery's home. Halbach's bones in the fire pit were intertwined with the steel belts left over from car tires Avery threw on the fire to burn. Officers found remnants of steel belts from tires that they believed were used as fire accelerants, and that was where her bones were burned, suggesting that some human bones found elsewhere. That's another thing. Those bones that were found elsewhere were never identified as Halbach's, and that they were from this murder, but that was never established. Phone records. Avery targeted Halbach, who worked as a freelance photographer for Auto Trader magazine, had photographed cars on Avery's property prior to her death. At 8:12 on the 31st, Avery called Auto Tracker magazine and asked them to send that same girl who was here last time. He gave a fake name and his sister's number to the Auto Trader magazine receptionist to trick Halbach into coming. Halbach had been to the property earlier in the month when Avery answered the door wearing only a towel. She said she wouldn't go back because she was scared of him. Halbach's phone, camera, and handheld device were found 20 feet from Avery's door and were burned in his barrel. The contents of the purse were in his burned barrel just north of the front door of the trailer. And they didn't say that in the documentary. Thank you, Matt. Get more mini books, okay? Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rosie. Oh, that's very sweet. The ballistics. Kratz said a bullet from Avery's gun had Halbach's DNA on it. Ballistics said the bullet found in the garage was fired by Avery's rifle, which was in a police evidence locker from November 6th. If the cops planted the bullet, how did they get one fired from his gun? This rifle hanging over Avery's bed is the source of the bullet found in the garage, with Teresa's DNA on it. He said the theory that the police planted the bullet is ridiculous. Did the cops borrow his gun, fire a bullet, recover the bullet before planting the SUV, then hang on to the bullet for 4 months in case they needed to plant it 4 months later? Yes. Okay, Erica. Chelsea and I are moderators for it. We will check it out. Thank you. Oh, she said she approved you. Thank you, Chelsea. We are over 400 in the group now. It's awesome. Very glad to have you. So here was another one. Stephen Avery planned to torture women according to additional charges filed by the DA in 2006. While he was serving a prison sentence for a rape he was later acquitted of, Stephen Avery planned the torture and killing of a young woman, according to documents released in 2006. Avery also bought leg irons and handcuffs 3 weeks before he allegedly killed Teresa Halbach. All of this was included in a 22-page court document accompanying additional charges filed in 2006. I'll have to see if I can find that in script. So, anyway, I say he's guilty. I say guilty. The jury said guilty. And like I said, they saw things that we didn't see. Nope, that one won't fit. Okay. I am not going to put the extras in here. That's what I just decided. I'm not going to put the extras. Oh, Matt, are you still here? You're a rockin' crocheting floozie. That's what you are, Matt. I got the album from Stranger Things. Mr. Fiber and I, when we went to Books A Million and Best Buy are right next to each other in Abilene. And we bought some albums. So most money we spent on vinyl and forever. There we go. 3 bookshelves full. Hold on, I'm going to get it. It's a 2 LP set. Stranger Things. So good. It's got Separate Ways, California Dreamin', Psycho Killer by Talking Heads, Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, You Spin Me Round, Chica Mexicanita, I didn't say that right, Play With Me, Detroit Rock City by Kiss, I Was a Teenage Werewolf, Past the Duchy, Wipeout, Object of My Desire, Rock Amadeus, Traveling Man, Tarzan Boy, Dream a Little Dream of Me, Rock and Roll, Hoochie Coo, Fire and Rain, Spellbound, Master of Puppets by Metallica, When It's Cold, I'd Like to Die, and then Separate Ways. It starts with Journey and ends with Journey, my kind of album. Oh, hi, Thrifty. Oh, you had carpal tunnel? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's so painful. You have them on your Apple playlist? I pre-ordered the new Teddy Swims album. I think it comes out February something. I'm not positive. I think. And I ordered I'm going to have all of the Adele albums. So I ordered the one I didn't have. Anyway, we'll get together again and I will tell y'all what else I got. I'm going to get off of here because I'm trying to save the camera time, my free time for StreamYard. Anyway, I love y'all. Have fun today. This was fun. We had some fun today. And I will see you guys tomorrow for our planner stuff. I love y'all. Everybody take care. Have a good night. See you later.